Well, this here is the all new Hyundai, sorry, it's not the Hyundai, it's the Kia Rio, but it's built on Hyundai's i20 platform. It shares the platform with that car, and this car isn't really coming to India anytime soon, but we thought why not take it out for a spin and figure out what Kia Motors is all about and what kind of cars they will bring to India. Of course, they will start off with the SP concept SUV in April or May 2019. But before that, let's get a taste of all things Kia with the Rio and jump inside and figure out how good it is. On the outside, it looks smashing. Now, normally I don't talk about the external bits about the car because it really is a matter of opinion. Some people like the look, some people don't. So I allow you to make your opinion. But this car, I think 90% of you will agree, really looks smashing on the outside, especially the grille over here. It isn't overdone, it's nice and subtle, but looks classy, posh, and really very sporty and upmarket. So let's start this review. But before that, let me take a quick selfie because I am really very keen on Instagram these days, and if you aren't following me, you should. My Instagram handle is Ashish Masih 1. You should also follow the team at Autoportal_India. And now let's start off with this review. Well, so let me tell you about the quality and the overall feel of this car by opening up the glove box over here, and have a look at that. It has a nice and soft dampened out effect. Now, this is a feature that you normally see in top-end luxury cars or more expensive cars, not something that you see on a hatchback. And that's not all. All the plastics here are made from very nice and soft materials. Here you get a lot of soft touch plastics, and the switchgear is also nice and meaty to grab. It really feels like it's built to last and will last you a long time. But if you are someone who really does enjoy a lot of features, then this is the car for you. You get a sunroof, you of course get traction control, you get lane keeping assist, and a host of other features which are normally found on much more expensive cars. And before ending the interior quality part, let me just tell you that if Kia Motors launches this car even with 50% of the quality that this car has, which is of course an imported version, then it will be a hot seller, because I'm not exaggerating. The quality levels here are phenomenal. All the switchgear, as I just said, is fantastic. Even the center console is solidly put together, and this part over here, where a lot of buyers never pay attention to, feels solid and feels like it's made from solid plastic. So yes, Kia should definitely consider launching this car before anything else, but of course they won't, and that's why I won't jump in the back seat or show you the boot, because who knows, this car might never really ever come to India. Let's now straight get into the driving bits and tell you how it is to drive. Well, so internationally, the Kia Rio comes with the same kind of engines that Hyundai offers on the i20. So you get the same 1.2 litre petrol as well as the same 1.4 petrol, which Hyundai has now discontinued. And you also get the same common rail diesel engine which Hyundai uses. And as I just said, it is very similar because it shares a lot of components, but it's not as similar to drive as the Hyundai. This car is running on 17-inch wheels, which is something that this car gets internationally. And the steering wheel of this car is really nice and crisp, and it has a lot more weight in it. It feels a lot more heavier than the i20 steering wheel does, but that's not to say that it will start to tire you out, because it's quite effortless. But yes, it feels a lot more communicative, and it feels like it will do a lot better if you take it out on a racetrack, or even if you push it up the hills. It will be more engaging to drive than the i20 is. Now, in terms of overall cabin isolation, all I can say is that it is fantastic. There is a distant murmur of the engine. In fact, when we started it off from cold, we didn't even know it was on. We had to look at the lights over here, and once they were off, we realized that yes, we can go. It is that good. I'm not exaggerating at the moment. There is a little bit of tire noise when, of course, you push it above 100 kph, but wind noise is always under control, and Kia has done a great job with the cabin isolation of this car, and expect something like that to come to India as well, because the Kia cars are very well engineered, and the ride quality of this car is also on the firmer side, because this car, remember, is running on slightly low profile 17-inch wheels, so that does hamper ride comfort a bit. Expect if ever Kia launches this car in India to have different wheels and different set of tires, so the ride comfort should be a lot more comfortable. This one is definitely on the stiffer side. Now, when you're driving around in the Kia Rio, you'll get a nice sense of driver engagement, because the steering wheel, as I said, is very crisp, but the gearbox also, the manual one that we're using today, is really nice, and it has very short and sporty throws, so it feels very engaging. It feels very lively. In fact, you'll just be changing gears for the heck of it, because it is a nice and enjoyable experience. Now, how different is the gearbox from the i20? It is quite different, because unlike the i20s, which feels very soft, this one does need a bit of a heavy hand to shift. It's not overtly heavy, but yes, compared to the i20, it is slightly firmer, but it is also more sporty, and it definitely feels a lot more keener to engage and feels like a sportier version of the i20's gearbox. Well, so from behind the wheel, is there a sense of deja vu compared to the i20? Well, I'll say yes and no. Yes, because the gauges are very similar. Some of the fonts for the information display is also very similar, but apart from that, everything else looks and feels different. The quality is definitely better, but you can feel like the window area here as well as the A-pillar is very, very similar. So there is a little bit of sense of deja vu, but because you get a different steering wheel, a completely different center console and dashboard, and a completely different set of door pads, it feels different. The seats also feel a lot more firmer than the soft seats of the i20. So yes, as I just said, there is a bit of deja vu, and there isn't. It's something that you'll know how to live with. So my overall driving impressions of the Kia Rio are very positive, and they just affirm my faith that Kia is a brand that will really be something to watch out for in India, and Kia can definitely trouble the established car makers if they launch cars like this and products like this in India, and you should definitely watch out for this brand in the future. Well, so in summary, all I can say is that Kia makes some cars which offer you great warranty, they offer you great refinement, excellent cabin in terms of the overall feel as well as a long features list. But that's not all. Being Kia means that you will also get solid after sales and service backup, because they really are coming in with a lot of dealerships as well as workshops. And what I'm essentially trying to say is that Kia Motors is a brand that is definitely worth the wait, and I am definitely banking on this car maker to launch some fantastic cars in the near future. So if you can wait for a while and you want to buy a compact SUV, then the SP Concept is the car that you should try out at a Kia dealership when they launch in May or June. And as I just said, we're banking on Kia to deliver some great cars in the future. It's bye for now, and hope to see you soon.